Rob, Rob, Rob. Yeah. Rob is the man. Was the man. Always will be the man. Rob is the man.
September 28th, the Daily Rob, getting the wisdom of Rob Smith first thing in the morning. So here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Rob Smith.
Thank you, Stu. It's 4 a.m. in the morning, and we're at work trying to make lives easier for those who listen to this show, so they know how to navigate the waters of liberalism every day.
So what stories are you keeping an eye on as they are developing as we speak?
Well, Stu, there are a few. One is the idiocy of Joe Biden. That's always something we can talk about every day. But yesterday he tweeted a tweet that said the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill cost $0. Now, how could anybody be that inane, that stupid to say something like that? Well,
I think he's right. You know, the Fed can just print money. So he has a point. It's a very smart point.
Well, I think the reason that somebody like him can say something like that, besides his dementia, has to do with the media never calls him on any of his lies. They haven't been doing it for 40 or 50 years, so he can just say whatever he wants, whether it's things that are blatantly untrue and ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
you definitely see
that 3.5 trillion. I wrote an article on this a week ago. It's a disastrous bill. Crowds out private investment, huge tax increases of 25% on about everything, and it is largesse that mostly goes to the favorite parties of the socialist democratic regime.
Well, you can't blame them. They have power, and they're just trying to cement it forever. So,
I blame them. If they were real Cincinnatises in the mold that the founding fathers wanted our legislatures and political class to be, they would look out for the common weal instead of themselves.
well, we know that's not going to happen with the current personalities.
Well, we need to do something about it. All right, another thing that people should be aware of is the murder rate, according to the FBI, was up 30% in 2020. Now why would that be, Stu? Do you have any idea? It's so strange. I mean, I can't think of anything that would have caused that. Can you?
Heavens to Betsy, I can't. But if I had to blame someone, I'd probably blame the corporate media, always making us hate each other, and then I'd probably blame all the lockdowns and all the kinds of problems that ensue from that.
How about defunding the police and marginalizing the police and all the police who quit because they weren't appreciated?
I would say that's probably another aspect.
That's 100% of the aspect.
Well, I think the corporate media definitely plays a role in making people
want to kill each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Have you ever watched CBS News and wanted to kill somebody?
I've watched CNN before and wanted to kill somebody. but
you're cracking me up.
But at the end of the day, I think the media does a great job in establishing an us and them message, and you know, it's like the current message that's out there that we have a pandemic of the unvaxxed, which, you know, that's an us versus them narrative.
That's exactly what they're doing, and what you see the Biden administration and the leftists do is they want to create discord and divide people, and it's a recipe for disaster. They've always done the class warfare thing. Well, speaking of the unvaxxed, the new governor of New York, now that the sexual predator is out.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
I'm not perverted, I'm just Italian. Andrew Cuomo, an innocent man sent to die on the cross. Tony Soprano and Al Pacino. These are two Italians who are not perverts. Spaghetti, fettuccine, and linguine. These are foods that are eaten by perverts. Italians, suck!
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Is this lady Hochul, I think that's how you pronounce her name. And she has stated that she's likely going to call in the National Guard because she's going to fire all the unvaccinated hospital workers, and she's going to mobilize the National Guard to take their place.
So how quick do you think there's going to be a lawsuit from someone who gets improper medical care because instead of a licensed nurse, they have a National Guardsman or woman doing it?
Well, I can see all kinds of problems with this. One, you can't possibly get medically trained National Guard folks. She was talking about those with medical training, but you just can't step into a new job. You know, it's just so stupid for them to. They have this mentality that they have the knowledge to puppeteer the world without understanding how the world works. You just can't find somebody who's been in the National Guard and just say, oh, I'm gonna stick them in this particular position in this hospital, and they're gonna know exactly what to do. Anyway, and you're not gonna have enough of them. But
Yeah.
anyway, Stu, that's the news I got.
Well, I'm kind of shallow, so I've been keeping an eye on all the celebrity news. And so two NBA players have kind of been, having a kind of adverse reaction to vaccine policy. I've found that interesting. And one of them, Kyrie Irving, he has requested that he have privacy concerning his vaccination status, which I think is a perfectly fine thing to ask and want from the general public. Now, on the other side of things, Friday on The View, they found out mid-show that two of the hosts had tested positive for COVID-19. And that led to kind of an awkward situation.
I need the two of you to step off for a second.
Okay. Anna and
we're going to bring
Sunny
you back later.
have to leave.
Yeah. Yes.
And we'll tell you why.
More information later. It's a tease.
We'll tell you why in a couple of minutes. So shall I introduce the Vice President?
Yes.
Okay. So, Vice President, no.
Nope.
Okay. Shall we dance? Let's do a tap dance.
And what happened as a result today was that they said it was a false positive COVID test. Now, I'm a little hesitant to believe that was the case. I think they caught the fact that these two hosts had COVID pretty much as soon as
They gave them ivermectin. They got better, and they're not testing positive anymore.
I think something along those lines, that they got the treatment they needed, whether it was antivirals or the what is the other therapy where they give you the
Hydroxychloroquine.
So that and ivermectin are both antivirals, but then there's also the antibody solution that Biden prevented going down to Florida and DeSantis. The Meta. I'm blanking on the name, but I'm sure whatever they got, I'm sure they got a cocktail
Just think
drug.
how evil that is, allowing people to die because they can't get these drugs because you want to,
Disagree with the governor.
You disagree with the governor, yeah.
But so now they're saying it was a false positive, but that the hosts feel that their privacy was invaded. And I agree, their privacy was invaded. But we're kind of seeing the reality of, if this is the world where we've thrown HIPAA out the window, this is what you're going to get, where you're going to have this just kind of almost authoritarian nightmarish
What's good for the
scenario.
goose is not good for the gander in their world. They're special. They deserve special treatment because they're TV stars and they're liberals and they have good hearts. Let's not forget that, Stu.
But I mean, but the chickens will come home to roost because even those people, they're elites over them, and they're just the common people to someone who's above them. And that's essentially what happened. The producers they're the ones who get the big money. And so they're just hosts. They're replaceable. How many hosts have we seen come and go from The View since its inception?
How many people have ever watched The View? All I do is I hear that shrieking Brooklynese accent from Joy Behar, and I just want to like stick my head in the toilet.
Well, I thought she was quite charming when Norm Macdonald was on the show.
Who?
Norm Macdonald, late great comedian.
Oh, I remember Norm.
Oh, the murderers.
Yeah.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Yeah, you know, we're not allowed to, you're not allowed to put out no accusations without.
That's a little
Darling.
too far.
That's the way it does work.
Let's just go on to the next question.
Yeah.
Do you watch this too? How do you know so much?
I got
You going over to the other side?
look at me. I fit in with them. So
Stu, speaking of COVID, one last question.
okay.
It's a hypothesis on my part. Kamala Harris has not been in the news at all, has she? I mean, she's been doing anything?
I have my own. I know you have a theory. I have my own theory about that.
Well, my theory is she's had COVID. She's been vaccinated, and she's hidden from the public view until she can test positive, and they're not going to tell anybody about it.
I think a lot of these, that's very possible. I think a lot of these politicians just kind of wait for the wave of the news cycle to favor them before they become more visible. And I think her office and Biden's office are kind of butting heads.
Maybe she's trying to separate herself from Sleepy Joe.
Yeah. I think it's a viability thing.
His approval ratings are like the lowest in history.
Because 2024, who's the Democratic front runner?
Got me.
I think it's de facto her.
Ugh.
So I think that's a lot of it is that, and I think the media is 100% complicit in that, where they shield her from responsibility.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. Yeah.
So she might be out there doing stuff, but the media is just not gonna cover it because they don't want to attach her to Biden and, all the very interesting statistics coming out on people's opinions concerning his mental fitness, his approval ratings, and all of that jazz. So they know what they're doing.
All right, Stu, I'll take your word on that.
Okay. Any parting words for the public today?
Carpe diem, go out and get them. Take no prisoners. The world is your oysters. Remember the Alamo. Rome wasn't built in a day. So there.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'll catch you later.
All right, bye.